Well, would you look at that? You guys remember the fat black race swapped April O'Neil? Well, it looks like the plot around her is now thicker than her thighs. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and that's right, race swapped April O'Neil is also now white. Let's get into it, shall we? Now, of course, this is coming from Bounding Into Comics, and you guys know how I feel about Bounding Into Comics. They are literally the right-wing version of your Kotakus, your Mary Sues, your Polygons, but I do think this is worth covering. White April O'Neil, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem action figure leads to speculation character could be changed for markets outside the United States. And when they say markets outside of the United States, we know who they're talking about. You know, what country out there that we are famously indebted to also famously hates the black folk? Well, obviously we're talking about China. A new April O'Neil action figure from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem film depicts April O'Neil as white and has led to speculation that the character will be depicted as white in markets outside the United States. And obviously, yes, this is April here looking very, not white like she's been traditionally depicted. And obviously, a lot of old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans like your boy here has a particular issue with that. It's very obvious that there's no need for the race swap. If you want to have a black character in there, if you want an all-original character, go for it. Or maybe, just maybe, give Dr. Baxter Stockman a legit bigger role, because apparently he is in the film. Your boy would know I'm not going to see this absolute garbage, but he's not in the film enough, so, you could have some of your representation pie if you want to just add a classic character, or not. You could just go the route that this film did and do race swaps, the utter most laziest decision you could possibly make when doing an adaptation. But then again, it is Seth Rogen. Was anyone really expecting anything less? But it says, the speculation comes from Midnight's Edge host Tom Connors, who was given images of two separate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem Ooze Cruising figures. My goodness, that is so much to say. That's the name of a toy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem Ooze Cruising Figures. That does not roll off the pizza-covered tongue. Something looks off here. And you can see, well, there's fat black April O'Neil. Oh, and there's this notably lighter skin colored ones. Now, I won't lie. I saw this a little bit earlier, and there was no frame of reference for comparison. Like, I didn't see the black action figure. So when someone sent me a picture of the white April figure, I thought it was just, like a bad paint job, because let's be honest, action figures are full of them. The care is not put into action figures nowadays as they used to. Or maybe it was just, really good lighting, making her look light. But now that I see the two side by side, or, well, top by bottom, yeah, that's very clearly a full-on race. Is it really a race swap? A race return? However you want to call it. Point is, she looks correct here. I mean, don't get me wrong, she is still fat and ugly, so it's still not the true blue April O'Neil, because April O'Neil is supposed to be a babe, but, it's somewhat closer to the original interpretation of the character. One of the toy sets depicts April O'Neil as the race-replaced black character as seen in the advertisement trailers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem film. However, in the other set, O'Neil is depicted as white. And yep, here's an even close-up, here's a side-by-side, and yeah, there's no denying it. These are ostensibly different shades of skin color. I mean, the glasses, those look relatively the same. The hair, that looks the same. Outfit, there's no change to the color there. This is not just different lighting or a color swap in terms of like someone editing. This is only on the character's skin. The necklace looks the same. The glasses are literally the same shade of purple. And also, you can look at the other characters, like look at Bebop here, or Rocksteady, whichever one that I believe this is Bebop. Same shade right here. He's got, it's not really a great comparison, but you can look at Leo's leg, same green, same blue. So if it was different, like color swaps or maybe like some sun bleaching or a mistake, a print mistake. First of all, there's a printing mistake, and this is coming from your boy who does, I am an action figure collector. If you didn't know, I collect action figures, statues, the whole nine. I got a great action figure collection, and misprints are some of the greatest things you can find. If you're out in the wild, you're at your local comic book stop, or you're at a what are they called, flea market, and the person doesn't know what they're selling, you find like a misprint. Oh man, some people love misprints, but this is not a misprint because these are being found in droves. As for why one image features a white April O'Neil, Connors detailed the source who provided him the images and informed him it could be sold in another market like, who guessed it? Let us know. Come on, President Donnie J. Who is this for?
China.
Connors specifically wrote, the person who sent the image speculated that the variant may be for another market like China. He later clarified that white April O'Neil being sold to foreign markets was simply speculative. And to be fair, that is all it is. We do not know for sure that these are coming out in China. It is full-on speculation, but I mean, after what we saw happening with, The Force Awakens and what they did to Finn, and obviously what we saw with the Black Panther poster, obviously covering Chadwick Boseman's face, is it really such a large leap to jump immediately to China? When YouTuber Heel vs. Babyface posited, "America loved China money long time," Connors responded, "Just speculative at this point, but the lipstick is sus as fuck, making you think, much like the poster gay snafu, this was not an actual mistake." Oh, no. No. For anyone that knows anything about action figures, this is not a mistake. Like I was saying earlier, if it was a mistake, I mean, you can definitely have, like, characters in the wrong box, so they have a wrong name on it. Sometimes you'll see characters, they're, like, printed with 2 left hands or 2 right hands, or, you know, they'll have certain things like that are obvious mistakes. This, however, is far too correct and adequate to be a mistake. The only thing that's different is the skin color, and it's being found, like I said earlier, in multiple action figures. It's not just a one-off. Usually when you have a misprint, they're very, very rare and very sporadic. You don't find a ton of misfits of the same action figure over and over in the wild. That's what makes them so valuable to action figure collectors. Connors did attempt to get a comment from Playmates Toys after he was provided another example of April being depicted as white next to one of her being depicted as black by Twitter user Monkey Jeebus. Connors shared the photo of the 2 Ooze Cruising boxes and then questioned, "Any comment, Playmates Toys?" And even from this distance out, you can see everyone else is the same. Raph, Mikey, Leo, why is there no Donnie in this? Why are you putting April in here but not... Oh, okay, never mind, he's in the driver's seat. Okay, we're good, I take it back. I mean, these action figures sold like crap when you compare them to the GOAT Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. That being said, yeah, all these are the same, and April is the only difference. She is the only character that's being palette swapped. That goes to show this is absolutely intentional. I imagine what is unintentional is it being sold in America. Reacting to Connor's original revelation, Neon from Clownfish TV speculated Playmates Toys might have messed up on distributing a number of the toys and shipped what could be Chinese or foreign market toys to the domestic United States market. Here's the dealio. I do not necessarily think, though, that this is the like Chinese marketing, because they're in English boxes. The whole thing, everything written on here is in English. Let's see if we can find a different picture that's like right here. You know, if it was for a Chinese marketplace, you would think there'd be Chinese. It's not kanji, that's Japanese, but whatever Chinese symbols are called on the box. Now, Ooze Cruisin' would be written in Chinese, but it's not. So maybe it's supposed to be released in China and it got released in American packaging. That would still technically be a misprint by all accounts, because if this version of April, if White April was supposed to be in Chinese packaging and sold exclusively in China, and now you got White April in American packaging, that's actually still a misprint, which is really cool. So these things could end up being super valuable. I think I saw a screenshot somebody was trying to sell on eBay for like a solid $200, which if someone bought it, yo, make that money. I mean, I'm gonna respect the hustle, I'm gonna respect the grind, but I also don't know why anyone would spend $200 on April O'Neil when she's still, just because she's white doesn't make the character okay, guys. I mean, she is still fat and, I remind you, incredibly ugly from a god-awful garbage Seth Rogen film. But whatever, people, yes, sell it for $200, make that money. He said, if this was the case, if there are rare white Aprils out there, oh my god, this is going to cause a whole nother set of issues. If this is legitimate and it makes its way stateside, it looks like the US packaging to me. Exactly, yeah, that's what I said. It makes its way stateside, expect lots of howling on Twitter. I think you mean X, Neon. As for whatever O'Neil might be changed from black to white in Chinese or foreign release of the actual film, Neon and his co-host Geeky Sparkles dismissed that idea. So yeah, I assume they're going to talk about whether they're going to actually palette swap April for the Chinese release of the film, and that seems a bit far-fetched, a bit extreme. Geeky Sparkles question, why would you have a different version of her? Neon responded, hey, we know they do all kinds of crazy stuff to appeal to China, and this is an animated movie. Animated movies usually do pretty well in China. However, there are certain things that they don't like in China. Now here's the dealio. While I have made the comments before about, you know, Chadwick Boseman, about John Boyega. If I recall, Spider-Verse movies, also animated, also starring a black hero, you know, Miles Morales, not Spider-Man, but Miles Morales, did exceedingly well in China. So it's not like all Chinese people were like, what? Black people, we do not like you. I'm not going to try and do some sort of stereotypical Chinese accent, but the point is, it's not like all Asians are out there hating on the black folk, because the Spider-Verse would not have killed it in China if that was the case. But if you are a company, if you're trying to maximize your profits, I mean, maybe young Chinese boys aren't going to buy black character toys. I really don't know how it sort of translates. So yeah, I don't think that April being black is actually going to harm the film's Chinese numbers, but wouldn't it be hilarious if that was the case? Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of cases, in the case of Disney especially, where they've tried to minimize African-American actors, black actors in productions on posters. We've got to hide them, shrink them. Exactly, we've seen that time and time again. Geeky Sparkles then questioned again, how are they going to change it for the whole movie though? Neon reported, palette swap. I don't think they're going to. That would have I don't think they're going to. That would have leaked by now. You guys, yeah, commas are very important. I don't think they're going to, comma, that would have leaked by now, or period, and then capitalize the TH. Either way, come on, get your journalistic, your writing skills up a bit. If you're going to want to sway people to your right-wing echo chamber side bounding into comics, then at least, go ahead and insert some proper grammar here. You already used to being called Nazis. May as well be grammar Nazis as well. She continued questioning, then why release the toy over there at all, or even release the toy over there? I can't blame Bounding Into Comics for that one. That was all Geeky Sparkles. The action figure... Whoopsie. The action figure is set and available at Target in the United States, as well as Kmart in Australia. Okay, just so you guys all know, your boy's second job was at Kmart. Kmart been out of business for a long time. I think the most mystifying part about this entire article is finding out that Kmart is not out of business as a company altogether. I cannot believe there's Kmarts in the Upside Down lands. It's retailing for $54.99 at Target, which is about $50 too much, and $85 at Kmart. Wow, no wonder Kmart's still in business at Target if people are willing to pay those kinds of Kmart's still in business at Target. If Kmart's still in business in Australia, people are willing to pay those kinds of prices. What do you make of the speculation that White April O'Neil could be featured in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem? I find this to be absolutely fascinating. Again, like not even from the whole right-wing, anti-woke sort of, crowd, the sort of YouTube videos I normally put out. Don't get me wrong, it's interesting from that point of view as well. But as an action figure collector, variants like these, you see variants in action figures all the time. There's a lot of money in variants and action figures. You're gonna have your people that want to just buy to get all the different versions. Hopefully one of them becomes super rare and you can resell it for a lot more money way later down the line. But you don't usually see race swap variants. In fact, I can't think of that ever being done. Maybe it has, but I can't think of it ever having been done in my very long and varied history of buying action figures. So this is incredibly interesting from just a collector's standpoint. But yeah, when you want to also add in the political and social ramifications of what it means for whether or not it is for China, why it's being sold in Australia, like if this is, geared towards China, why is it popping up at Kmart in Australia? I mean, I know that both Australia and China are known as like the upside down people, but they're still very different. One of them puts Muslims in camps, and the other one just says, "Good eye, mate," and then gets really, really fat. Because if you don't believe it, there's actually no obesity problem in Australia. It's quite sad. They're not all just shredded six-pack surfer dudes. Anyway, yeah, I think that it's popping up in the U.S. and Australia. That's got to be some sort of distributing issue. This is probably supposed to be made for a marketplace that doesn't exactly care about black folk, and we all know that being the pro-capitalist nation we are, your boy included, because capitalism is the best, yeah, people want to make that money. So if you're going to be putting out a black action figure, and you know that the country doesn't particularly like black folk too much, it's super easy to go ahead and make some variants white and sell them exclusively in that country. Now, why they would do that in today's social climate when stuff like this easily gets on the internet and it's so easy to call it out is beyond me. They should have just made the character white from the beginning, since that's what she is in the comics. But it is actually baffling to me that China, possibly, speculatively, is going to be getting a more source material accurate version of April O'Neil than we did in America, the home country of the TMNT. Blasphemy! But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on Twitter, X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news almost every day. I did take a few days break. I really want my previous video to really just hit that algorithm going. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. But until then, it's all here in the nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.